evening. Welcome to Ubuntu channel, and this program that we have tonight, just like any other Wednesday, is Meet Your Leaders. And on Meet Your Leaders tonight, we are hosting Mr. Lazarus Chisela, who actually happens to be the president for ZUSD, which is Zambia United for Sustainable Development. This is a political party, and this political party is an opposition party in the nation. My name is Chaza right here, and I will be co-hosting the program with my colleague, Lansani Banda right here. And remember that Meet Your Leaders is a program designed, for you to actually meet the leaders that we host every Wednesday right here. And the topic of discussion that we'll be looking at tonight is the state of the nation. Lance, good evening, and welcome to the program.
Good evening, Chaza. Good evening to the viewers, as well as good evening to our guest. Good to see you, Chaza. How have you been? How's your Wednesday been?
It's been, a stressful day, but it's been not so bad. How's been yours?
Well, mine has been okay. It's happy festivities. As you know, it's a festive week, and lots of activities happening here and there as we get closer to celebrating the birth of our Lord Jesus Christ this Sunday, as well as also moving close to, well, I would say my birthday. My birthday,
Okay.
which is coming on the 1st of January. So it's a productive week, and looking forward, to having a better of it and seeing how it unfolds.
You must be a great
The
beneficiary
internet
of,
is cutting. I can't hear what you're saying. The internet is cutting.
that's unfortunate. That's our guest there who is saying his internet is cutting and he cannot hear anything at all. IT probably is trying to fix the problem.
I can't hear. I can't hear the internet.
Okay.
And unfortunately has been cut out. IT, we request that you may, attempt to actually assist our guest there in terms of connectivity. And I've seen my co-host has also been cut out. I hope that, the two will actually get back right here. Remember, this is Meet Your Leaders on Ubuntu channel. And we sincerely apologize for actually coming late. We're scheduled to actually start the program at, 20:30, but due to internet challenges, we could not actually start in time. And we hope that, this problem, will be rectified, especially, as regards our guests, so that, he can join us right here. And together, we get to look at, the state of the nation. What's the economic status right now as we speak? What is the social status, political status, and so on and so forth. It's a beautiful Wednesday evening. And those of you that are, watching us from, Facebook, those of you that are watching us or following from, Twitter, not forgetting YouTube, we greatly appreciate. Do not forget to actually subscribe to, the channel and get to like, so that each time we're having a program, you are notified that, we do have a program and you get to join us. And we cannot do without you. Our reliance is actually on you. And you can participate by dropping us a message right here in the comments section there, if you are on Facebook there. And not forgetting those of you that are on Twitter, you can also get to send us, that message. We are Ubuntu channel, and remember that we have lots of programs tailor-made to actually satisfy, your viewing needs. And each program that we have right here on Ubuntu channel is designed in such a way that you can participate. You can add your voice, your views, and so on and so forth. on every program that we do have. And today, being a Wednesday, we do bring Ubuntu channel's program called Meet Your Leaders. And yesterday, as it were, we're actually bringing to you, and we do bring to you, debate time. And on Thursday, we have Pansaka, which is actually, tailor-made especially for those that 18 and or above. And that program, we have lots of topical, discussions that are of a mature audience. Make a date and you get to find out what exactly it is all about. And on Friday, we have sports, tailor-made to actually have, different kinds of sports under discussion and reviews and so on and so forth. And not forgetting, especially the dominant sports that we do have, which is actually soccer. We have, great times right there. And on Saturday, we get to have, point of view where we bring your way stories of the week and headlines of the week. Then you get to add your voice onto such stories, what your thoughts are, your viewpoints are. And Sunday, we have, a gospel program where, the word of God is shared right there. And you can also get to participate. So we have all sorts of, programs right here on Ubuntu channel. And it's definitely a full bouquet. Lance, welcome back.
Thank you so much, Chaza. And of course, definitely we have a full bouquet of programs. Like we have everybody catered for, the young, the aged, the old, and also not talking about the kids. We have all the kind of programs that you would love to watch on Ubuntu channel Zambia. All that you have to do on Facebook is strictly follow us and like our page. And then on YouTube, make sure that you subscribe to our YouTube channel. Do not only subscribe, but also click on the bell so that each time that Ubuntu channel Zambia is live, you get a notification that ababa Ubuntu n'ababwera n'abaposapo kamusango olimbi n'abeesapa n'enshi bali live. Chaza, why are you laughing at me? I can speak Bemba as well.
Some languages, when they are spoken, they bring, a bit of surprise, in certain vocabulary.
But hey, at least I can speak Nyanja like fluently. So imwe vochita mukaenda kucha ku Facebook mufunga mwati nkapalikaja kabadani kamene kamalangiza chija chi thumbs up chija chikaika kamba like mwakatini kakaja mukakadiniza kaja imwe nishi mwambo konka ma programs yonse yamene tili nayo pano pa Ubuntu. Then munga kuli imwe bamene mumasenzesa Facebook imwe mufunga mwenda paja polembe wati subscribe. Mukata subscribe tinikani pali chija chibero chija munga ife bakudala chija chenzolira every day 6 hours chapa Roman Catholic chija chibeo chenzolira 6 hours mbo apo mukatinikapo nishi nafe ba Ubuntu each time tikankala live o tikabwera pamwera chija chibeo namwe chizakulirira nje mbo babwera ba Ubuntu apa baponyapo ponyapo. Yeah, so our dear viewers, remember that this is a Wednesday and this is a program which is called Meet Your Leaders. Today we are discussing state of the nation, and of course we are featuring the ZUSD president, who is Lazarus Chisela, as we are discussing that particular topic. Remember that you will be given a chance to come through on the program either by leaving, in fact, you can start now leaving your comment, leaving your expectations, as well as leaving your view on what is the current state of the nation. And then you can also come through directly to the studio, as we will share with you the studio link. Come through, let us discuss the state of the nation. Let us get to talk about what is happening in Mother Zambia. Are you happy with what is happening? Are you happy with the status quo? Do you like or love the unfoldings of what is happening in Zambia? So this is a platform which is tailor-made for you. We make sure that we want you, our viewers, to be a part of us. Remember, if amene tili muno mu studio oba tili pano, we are not wise enough kuyamba kukuuzani ati ichi ni so, ichi ni so, ichi ni so. Mfunga naye mumatijoina, then once tachita share ma ideas okapena nzeru zamene tili nazo kya ine apa niganizira so, ine paja nezoganiza so, na paja nezoganizira so na so na so. Ndiye chifukwa chake chamene timakuleterani ma programs aya, so that wonse tankalira pamozi, taendera mbali imozi, ndiponso tankala mukuyanjana chapamozi, tapeleka chalo chatu muchitukuko. Well, I feel like a chewa, Chaza.
Yeah, there's great improvement there. You deserve a merit.
I actually deserve an end of year medal.
Oh, yes.
But anyway, as we await for our guest, Chaza, you know, there are so many things that have happened in terms of current affairs, in terms of looking at the state of the nation. Like, I think we have seen a lot of things that are happening. But before we get to share that, let's go on a very quick short break, and then we'll be back on the other side to share with you what has been happening. And then we will also share the studio link so that you can join us into the studio. And then let's have a one-on-one conversation or interaction. Studio, pick it up. Jenny na yuk break. Director, let's go for a break. Well, Chaza, looks like today in the afternoon, I was actually telling somebody that there's a scripture in the Bible which says there is no rest for the like you finish for yourself. And then the
We do sincerely apologize for that hiccup that we've had. That's due to, a technical challenge. But we are right back right here. Lance, are you there? It appears, Lance is also having a problem. I think, tonight we are having serious, connectivity challenges right here. And, much of it, the guest is so affected. And time really is not our best ally, but we hope that, we may succeed and get to talk to our guests right here. This is Ubuntu channel, and you are following or watching or listening to Meet Your Leaders right here. And tonight we we are hosting Mr. Lazarus Chisela, who is actually the ZUSD president, Zambia United for Sustainable Development. We are actually still hopeful that he does join us right here. Lance, are you there? Unfortunately, it appears, okay, fortunately, he's right back. Lance, yes, we completely lost you. Welcome back. Lance, are you there? Are you getting me? All right, I'm still, hoping that these two people may join me, my co-host and also the guest right here. What are some of the notable, things you have, seen or experienced as we speak right now? How is the state, or what is the state of affairs as, regards the nation? What are the economical, developments or challenges that you have noticed or experienced, not forgetting the political and also the social aspect? This is the topic of the day right here on Meet Your Leaders. Lance, are you there? It's a serious, connectivity challenge. We'll give it a bit of time. If these problems get to continue, we'll have no option but to call off the interview and probably get to reschedule the interview. I remember one of my directors right here was asking me, almost said reschedule, that he's been hearing me sometimes saying reschedule. So he was wondering what type of English it is when you say reschedule. I do realize that when you say reschedule, it's the American, type of English, and when you say reschedule, it's the British English. So,
So which one do you subscribe?
Sometimes I get to think, which way should I go? And he said, we were actually a British colony, and we need to stick to that. But sometimes the tongue itself just goes to the American aspect. So it's probably the combined type of English that we modernly use. Welcome back, Lan.
Well, thank you so much, Chaza. Me and IT are trying so hard to bring the guest back. Internet is really a challenge in Zambia, I tell you.
Yeah, it's been a challenge indeed. We've been trying before, 21. And, just at 21, we thought we started, and here we are again, still having the same struggles. So I was just telling, the people that are following that to give it, just a little bit of time. And if we continue having the same challenges, we'll call off the interview and get to reschedule or reschedule. Deep problem.
I see where the reschedule and rescheduling is coming from.
Oh, yes.
Well, our dear viewers, though, before even rescheduling or rescheduling, maybe Chaza, let's get to give an overview, like just give our viewers what they're supposed to expect or what they were expecting on the interview this particular evening. As the topic already suggests, it's the state of the nation. And when we look at the state of the nation, obviously the first thing that which we look at today, this Wednesday, marks exactly 495 days of President H7 and the UPND being in power. In fact, it's over 495 days of H7, President H7, and the UPND being in power. Like, how do we rate their leadership? I know yesterday President Hichilema held a press conference for the year 20, for the end of year 2022, and then he tackled a number of issues or a number of things which he had on his schedule. I do not want to fall prey to schedule. And then also we also have to look like because it's the UPND in power. So we also, since we're looking at the state of nation, we also have to look at this same UPND government told the Zambian people that the cost of living will reduce when UPND is voted into power, and we're now over 495 days into the UPND's reign. Like, when we look at the current status of the cost of living, is it better? Is it high? Is it higher? Like, where are we right now? These are the issues that we are talking about. So for you, our dear viewers, and if I can request, Chaza, through you and uh, our IT together with our producer for tonight, if I can request, let's share the studio link with the public. Let's share our studio link with the public so that if they can come in and try to answer, comment, as well as express a view on what we expected from the UPND or the expected questions that we had for our guest. At least they can come through and share with us. And then, like, let's maybe, since our guest is not here due to internet, let's see if we can have our followers, our viewers, and our dear listeners come through and share their experience, their expectations, as well as also their views, and also looking at the presidential speech which was given yesterday, which gave so much assurance about 2023. So what are they expecting in 2023, Chaza? So maybe our producer and IT share the link with our dear viewers, and then we'll be able to see. If none of our viewers come in, we'll call off the program and reschedule with our guest. But if they're able to come in, let's get to have a better chat. So Chaza, away from the two things which we expected our guest to answer, another thing that we have is that prior to the 2021 general elections, the UPND claimed that the rule of law had fallen due to the leadership failure of the Patriotic Front, PF, when they were in power then, before 2022 or back in 2021, going further to 2011 when PF came into power. And the UPND promised to bring back rule of law once they got voted into power. 2021 August 11, we saw them getting voted into power, and if I'm not mistaken, the 16th of August they were sworn in. Now, what can one say currently? Like, where are we currently in terms of the rule of law? Has it been installed? Are we seeing public institutions working independently? Are we not seeing interference from the government into these other arms of the government? It's up to you, our listener and our viewer, to respond to that. Also, Chaza, I have two more issues, and then maybe you can also put across the other issues that we had put across for our guests to answer, so that maybe, just maybe, our followers can respond to it. I still implore our IT, please let's share the link with the public and see if they'll be able to join us into the studio and get to just have a deliberate chat about these issues. So the first out of the two that I have left is like this new dawn current fight of corruption. How do our people look at it? The general populace of Zambia, how do they look at it? Is it a political persecution as it is being talked about by the opposition? Because they say so, because it seems to be targeting former workers or former civil servants of the PF administration, as well as former ministers of the PF administration. So is the fight of corruption genuine, or it's a political persecution? Then lastly, Chaza, like we have seen how parliament has been, or parliament behavior, how it has been conducted. We've seen complaints coming through about the second deputy national speaker of the assembly. We've seen the first national deputy speaker of the assembly. We've seen complaints coming through to say they are biased towards a certain party. So like the general populace, what is their take on the conduct of the National Assembly Speaker, first and second deputy speakers, and behavior in Parliament? So these are the issues that we expected our guests to respond to, and I know you also have others which you have put across.
We have our guest right here, and maybe if he's able to hear us, we can quickly get to submit to him. Mr. Chisela, are you getting us? Maybe he's still trying to settle there. All right, we'll give him a chance. Yeah, I would like to find out, where we are in terms of, socially, economically, and also politically. We want to find out if, what is happening right now in the country, just like my colleague has indicated, if the government in power are sticking to the promises that, they gave to the Zambian people for them to be voted into power. I remember I saw on social media, where somebody commented on a post that, was posted on Facebook in the year 2020, where, Mr. Hakainde Chilema was saying, load shedding is uncalled for, something like that. And right now we hate that, load shedding is coming back. And, there's been some comments that, is due to unforeseen circumstances. So we want to find out, where we are, what are the people, saying about all these, promises that, were made. And are they coming into fruition, or are they not coming into fruition? What is the state of the nation? Also like to find out, as a democratic, states, the question is that do we have, arms of government independent? Are they free from, interference from the government? We also do understand that, our constitution right now has, lacunas. There's been some proposition to make, amends to the constitution, and some of the provisions, were said that they were archaic and they needed to be, amended. And the status appears to be the same, or, such provisions are silent, and so on and so forth. So I'd like to find out, where are we, in terms of all these things as a nation. We also are interested even in highlighting, some of the positive development that, the government has brought about. It's not all about criticism. We are looking at, positive development, and also challenges, and also those things that have not been achieved. And what is our thought what is our reaction to what has been done, what has not been done, and what is it that we expect to be done. All right, it appears my colleague has been thrown out, and he's not coming back, or is still having challenges in coming back. And the guest also is had serious challenges, and we do expect on this program also our guests to get to render advice to the government. What is it that the opposition leader or leaders are thinking about what can be done better? And that can be some kind of advice to the government and also the president. What is it that somebody or the opposition leader is thinking could have been done better or can be done better? Just like I earlier indicated, when we are criticizing, we don't need to criticize or to analyze just the negative aspect, but we need also to look at the positive aspect. What are the achievements? What are the things that have been done better right now? Where are we? What's the status like? That is basically what the topic is all about. Lance, welcome.
Thank you so much, Chaza. Well, I was still trying to engage our guest, but it seems like all trials are in futility. Yeah, it seems like in his area, I don't know what's wrong with Salama Park, but it seems like in Salama Park, internet is just something. Maybe it's because of the rains, because it's raining heavily. I don't know if it's only where I am, but it's raining heavily in Lusaka. However, our dear viewers, those are the things that we are discussing on the program, simply put, as in the state of the nation. All right, the state of the nation. In your view, in your look at things, in your comment, how do you look at the state of the nation? Or like there are a number of things that are happening in the country that maybe we might even have missed in putting across as expectations from in terms of response from our guest. You can simply come through, join us into the studio. We have shared the link with you. We have shared the link with you. The link is open. You are free to come in, join us into the studio. Let's get to have a one-on-one interaction. Let's get to talk about this issue. Remember, Zambia does not only belong to one person or a few individuals. Zambia belongs to every one of us. So if we want to see a better Zambia, Chaza and you, our dear listener or our dear viewers, we all have to participate in the governance of this country. How do we participate? Yes, we are not in government positions, or we do not have those government positions. But how do we participate as general citizens? Of course, it's by coming through to platforms like this and voicing out the displeasures that we have about a government, as well as commending a government on the positives that they have scored. In that way, we are taking part in governance, we are taking part in ruling a government. Because remember that ruling, democracy is ruled by the people. All right, democracy is ruled by the people. Now, who are the people? The people is you and I, who are not in any policy making decision position. Now, how do you enforce or see to it that a certain policy is passed, considered, or looked into? Is by you and me coming through to share what our displeasure or what we have liked about a government is. Hence the reason why Ubuntu has given you this platform to come through and share what you have seen, which is positive so far from the New Dawn government, as well what you have seen which you are not liking at the moment, and you would love to advise them to change, or maybe to look at an alternative of that thing. Come through into the studio. If not coming through into the studio, leave us a comment downneath or underneath this broadcast. We'll be able to read it. We'll be glad to read it, and definitely we'll be happy to see to it that you are taking part into the governance of the nation. Chaza, just yesterday, like I'm glad to tell you, yesterday afternoon, after the whole Pilato, McDonald, and everybody that was sworn in into their public offices, and then I had to congratulate Pilato, obviously, on digital platforms, on social media platforms. Then somebody followed me into my inbox and was like, "Hey, but I thought you are a critique of this government." Then I told the person to say, well, first of all, I am not a critique. Secondly, I have a right to tell this government where I feel they are not doing right. And
Exactly.
I also have a right to tell this government where I feel they have scored. And when we come to this appointment of Chamafumba, popularly known as Pilato, for me, there's both a score and a loss. Okay? A score is the fact that this government has scored on employing youths or critical voices. You know, Pilato was a critical voice into governance. So he has been given enough rope by the president to hang himself or to relieve himself out of that rope. So the Zambian youths and the Zambian populace expect Chamafumba to perform exactly to what he was speaking against. So if he performs in a way that 2 months down the line, he starts defending even what is wrong, then we'll say that was a what? A wrong appointment, because the man was only simply fighting for him to get an employment. But if 2 months down the line, we see somebody getting arrested unfairly, like the president said, do not arrest journalists in their line of work. And then we see a journalist getting arrested in their line of work, then Chamafumba comes and say, that was okay, the journalist was blah, 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 blah. Then we'll say Chamafumba did not stand for the people, but was standing so that he can get an employment. Then the displeasure that I had in his appointment is the fact that Chaza civil service, especially on the PS level, there's need for policy formulators, as well as people, our parliamentarians whom we send to the parliament, to formulate a law that does not give power to the president to appoint a PS, permanent secretary. That should not be a role or a prerogative of the president, because Chaza, for one to be a permanent secretary, let's look at their line of field. So this person has been a civil servant for example, for 6 7 years. They've risen through the ranks of just a simple civil servant, maybe anambira pali kupyanga mu office, abwera akwezekako ma qualifications yake ankala office orderly, akwezekako ma qualifications yake abwera ankala maybe manager or director, like let them climb that ladder of success. Okay, that's how me I'm looking at permanent secretary. So somebody should rise above the ranks. Muntu yana chitako save mu civil servant, not coming to pick somebody like Lancy because I supported a certain political party, then I should be appointed as PS. What do I know about PS? The president himself just a few weeks ago was complaining to say, my civil servants, what are they doing? They are not working according to the UPND manifesto, or how the UPND is expecting them to work. Why? Because we are appointing people who are not qualified in certain positions. As much as I am happy, Pilato is a friend of mine. I congratulated him. I'm happy as a youth. He is elevated to that level. But let's look at his qualifications. Let's look at why was he appointed. Was it a meritorious appointment? Was it an appeasement appointment? Or was it a payback appointment? These are things we need to look at. Immediately we learn to answer these questions, Chaza, then it will be easy for us to even put our leaders into account or on account to say certain positions, let's leave people to rise to the occasion. Muntu ankala mu civil service 15 years, Chaza, namanja kali ni office orderly, then somebody walked Njere just because they support a political party abonkala ni PS. Why should it be like that? So the president should not be given, not only President Hichilema or former President Edgar Lungu, even the next president who is coming should not be given a prerequisite of appointing permanent secretaries. Let's leave permanent secretaries to rise above the board. Let us move from qualification to qualification. Also, tanganako nankani achani ya what you call that when you're looking for somebody employed? Experience. Talanganako na experience. How experienced is this, or how old has this person been in this ministry? So maybe angarezingeko because I'm to understand my technicalities, I'm to understand this and that. So this is how we make our government accountable, not looking at so our policy formulators, Chaza, like for me personally, I feel that our policy formulators should look into this issue. The president should only be limited to appointing ministers. Permanent secretaries, let it be a prerequisite of somebody attaining. Oh, he's been with the service in the Ministry of Health, uyu muntu anayamba ankalako ku Ministry of Health for 15 years. In that 15 years akwezekerako machani yake, ma qualifications yake, na knowledge yakwezekerako, na chani na experience yakwezekerako. Oh, chenti mpase chani UPS technical. Oh, chenti mpase uchani UPS administration. Looking at the qualification na knowledge yachita again while serving as what? As a civil servant. Not Chaza, Lance speaks well of the government appointed Chakuto or no. What do I know about that? Chaza, we need to come to a term where we should understand that a ministry's focal point, a ministry stands with the PSs. Minister is not an owner of a certain ministry. The owner of a ministry is a PS, because this PS is a policy formulator who gives the goal to who? To the minister. Yes, the minister may be appointed in coming to say, oh, in a vision yanga ni, but a PS, being a technocrat, being a professional, who send the minister a direction tinapata yesako the best way and the direction na tumatuzi to using and to so na so oyamene i direction yemukamba tingaikwanise but not using a method it na using a base mwenzeko tientieseko maybe using a chani i method. That's how it's supposed to work. That's how PSs work, or that's how directors, managers, and technocrats work in these ministries. So certain appointments, for me, I feel let's take them away from the president.
Okay, so actually submitting that the law must change so that some appointing authority should be stripped off the president, so that appointments should be restricted to political positions.
Yes.
And I do remember, I really don't know how the provisions were, but even the law itself is actually providing that the minister is having a political position, whereas the PS is having, the position of a civil servant. So the PS is supposed to provide, technical, advice or administrative, duties, and whatever they have administered should then be submitted to the politician who actually oversees, the administration and the technicalities that are, done by the permanent secretary. All right. Okay, sir, a good viewpoint, good observation, and I must presume that people are listening, and people do listen, and they may actually go by that.
Sorry, Chaz, I didn't get that. What was your submission?
I was just, trying to dissect your submission, and I was saying that as far as I remember, the acts of parliament, do provide, that the political position is taken up by the minister, whereas the PS is actually, having the position of a civil servant who actually provides administration and, the technical aspect of the ministry, and whatever they come up with, whatever they formulate, will be subjected to this politician. Is it, in tandem with the political, agenda of the government?
Well, that's very true, and I don't know where we went wrong as Zambians or as Zambia. I don't know where we went wrong, where we decided to start awarding critical, positions to political appeasements, or just to appease a certain person because they spoke highly or they spoke for a political party. However, that shouldn't be the case moving on. And I would really, really love to urge, our policy formulators. Truly, we did not send people to parliament so that they can just go there and start shouting, yeah, yeah, on issues that do not, affect or border on or affecting the Zambian people. What it is that I don't know. Anyway, Chaza, I don't know if you've ever paid attention, but I know that many Zambians have many Zambians have paid attention to the current parliament in terms of the debates that happen in parliament and everything. To tell you the truth, in my personal capacity and basis, these are not views of Ubuntu, by the way. These are my personal views, and to tell you the truth, I am not happy with how Parliament is debating certain issues or is looking at certain issues. Just the issues that have been put across in Parliament and the debate, you would see that people are not rising above partisan lines. They do not look at the future of Zambia. For them, they are looking at, okay, if I speak about this or if I say this, this is or might be against my political party, and therefore I might not get adopted in the next political year or thingy for me to stand. Apparently, this is a thing which is preoccupying our current house. And it's very sad, Chaza. First of all, I've been making this call and I've made this call to say, first of all, people must understand the reason why they were voted into these key decision-making positions. Okay, the people of Zambia did not vote for people so that they can look at how are we going to make sure that we get voted for or we get adopted in the next political year. No, the people of Zambia voted for you so that you can deliver development, you can deliver on what they sent you there for. Just to divert a little bit, then I'll come back, Chaza. One thing that I love about the current formulation of the Constituency Development Fund is that it has been moved from a political lens to more of development. You know, back in the days before the UPND came into power, CDF was treated and looked into as something which an area member of parliament would give to the people so that the people can vote for them back on the seat. Like it was just an elite state of this MP, you know. Oh, I will bring 1.6 million for you guys, and then we will develop a certain area. Vote for me. I fought so hard in parliament to get this 1.6. Yo, who said that? That is a right for each constituency according to the CDF Act, which was enacted back then. So how was it used as a prerequisite for an MP to solicit for votes? So the UPND came in and opened up the people's eyes to say, hey, CDF is your right. CDF should not be used by an MP to say, I will only use the CDF if you promise to vote for me. So that, you know, that scenario has changed. The UPND.
But no, Lance, they say you can't, you know, bite the finger that feeds you. So we have, you know, this politician who is sponsored by this political party and goes to the people to actually, you know, look for votes. And people have voted this person, you know, into parliament. Then they've been voted, you know, into parliament, first of all, because of the party, because they belong to this party and they are sponsored by this party. And when they get into parliament, I don't think it's very easy, you know, to actually, you know, push the agenda away from the political party, because you know, it's a party that sponsored them, you know, into parliament. And parliament is also segmented into political, you know, affiliations. Even in terms of you know, voting for bills, you know, is actually centered on you know, the political party to which you belong. And this is why even government will try as hard to have, you know, numbers in parliament so that you know, the government bills would be supported by the majority.
You know, Chaza, one thing is that these civic leaders have to rise above political lines. They do not have to look at a development of our nation or of this sovereignty, this sovereign country called Zambia with political lenses. If you remember, Chaza, back in 2008, when President no, not 2008. I think that was 2006 when President Mwanawasa was president. There was an issue of a bill which was needed to be passed in parliament, but because the MMD back then did not have numbers in parliament, what President Mwanawasa did was to more like sign, for lack of a better term, I would say sign a truce where he gets opposition members of parliament to side with him so that they can just sign this bill, which was progressive for Mother Zambia. Unfortunately, a wrong way was used because money was used to, you know, which they call bribe and whatever. You know, it was a wrong way, but again, it was something right which was needed to be done because this was above partisan lines. This was something which was signed and developed Zambia in one way or the other. So these leaders, they have to rise above partisan lines. The first thing, Chaza, before I personally as Lance, before I even try to aspire for an MPship, I have to look at myself, okay, as Lance, what has compelled me to want to stand as a leader, as an MP? Okay, what has moved me? What challenges are there in the society or community that I'm coming from? And then apart from that, looking at Zambia at large, how would we want to develop Zambia? Okay, so even as we go into parliament, or as these people go into parliament to debate, to debate on motions, vote on bills and pass laws and everything, they need to rise above partisan lines. I will give you a practical example, Chaza. The current mayor of Chipata City, George Mwanza, if you can recall correctly, the PF adopted that young man to stand on the PF ticket. 48 hours later, because of somebody felt they have powers and everything and they are popular on the ground, they went and advised the party to say sungatenge akakamwana kamung'ono akakuyimirira as mayor kuno pasaniine. The mistake the PF did, they revoked that nomination paper which they had given to George Mwanza. What did George Mwanza do? That did not deter George Mwanza from looking at the development ideas that he had for Chipata City as a member, as a mayor. What did he do? He said, I will go in as a what? As an independent. Who is the current mayor of Chipata City? It's George Mwanza. Who is he? An independent member of parliament. An independent mayor, sorry. So, had the PF not revoked, he could have been a PF what? Mayor in Chipata. So, first, look at the conviction that you have as a person. Are you standing for a party, or are you standing for the people that you are representing, or the people that you want to represent? Look at the laws you want to formulate. Look at the kind of debates that you want to engage into and support. Are they good for your people, or they are only good for your party? Parties come and go. Parties, Chaza, today they may sponsor you in parliament. Tomorrow they say we are sponsoring another person.
Yeah,
So
actually,
we must
you are right. You are right indeed, and I think the conclusion is that it only takes one who has got integrity to really, push, or represent, the interest of the people. Because generally, when you look at politicians, including, the majority of them that have promised the people that they'll push, the interest of the people forward when voted in, we see great numbers that, don't live up to such a promise. Unfortunately. And they even, there was a song, by Lucky Dube that they even sleep, in the night. They don't even feel any guilty at all. Lying to the people, promising the people, and they don't remember the people after being voted in. And
Yes.
one of the songs, he was crying and saying, I raised my voice high enough. I raised my fist high enough, even risking rejection, by my own people, just to
Yes.
ensure that you get into power. But right now, you don't remember me at all, and it's a reminder, be good to the people, that have, ensured that you go up there, because when you go up the ladder, you may need them on your way down the ladder.
Yes,
You,
yes.
mm.
Well, it's an hour, Chaza. We have to go.
I think, this is even invoking, even some talk show. It may be good
Mm-hmm.
to actually do the talking ourselves, for 1 hour. It's a
Exactly.
food for thought. I can see even yourself, you are vehement, talking about issues, from the depth of your heart. A talk show may also, do good. It's an idea that has been born tonight.
Definitely. And we look forward to it being enhanced and worked on, and then see how how we can, modify it and just get the word out there to the Zambian people, because it is very much important.
Exactly. So I think for now, it's been a great, time chatting unplanned for, but coincidentally, we have chatted all the way through up to this time, circumstantially, due to that circumstance that has made our guest fail to actually be on the program. We sincerely apologize on that aspect, and we do even appreciate that you've been with us regardless of this circumstance. This is our Ubuntu channel. It's been myself, Chaza, and Lance right here. Do meet us next week on Meet Your Leaders, and we are hoping that next week we are not going to have such a challenge. From me and Lance, we are saying God bless you all, and we are out of here.
Happy festivities. Well, Chaza, it looks like our producer still wants